No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place to take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Be loved from the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused. This door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Unity. So good to see everybody's face this morning. This is our last Sunday of the month singing this one. So that means y'all should be filling this whole room with. Our neighbors with a friendly handshake, hug, or bow. And we repeat to them the divinity salute. The divine in me greets the divine in you, and we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God. Help us out with this next part, y'all. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. Created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. Awesome. One of my favorite songs. I just love that song, and I'm glad that we all got to sing it this whole month. So when you come back next week, we'll have a new song that we'll all practice together. Welcome to Unity Renaissance. My name is Reverend René, and it is
a joy and a pleasure to be with you here today. I want to say welcome to everyone who has joined us live in the sanctuary and everyone who's joining us online. We can wave to those. We know there's no time, space, or distance. We're so grateful that you've joined us. And what I like to say is that we are co-creating this sacred service together. And so your open-heartedness, your energy, your participation creates an energetic field that is palpable, that when we walk into this space, we feel love, we experience peace, and we experience joy. And so I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. We are social media friendly. And we're inviting you to turn off the sound makers on your devices. So feel free to take pictures, feel free to let people know you're here, feel free to share that you're here. And you know, if you forget, you'll automatically be forgiven. And we'll somehow bring it into the service if we hear anything, right? We know that we can do that. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Unity, which we always say that Unity is positive, it is practical, it is progressive. We have just completed a new membership class where we've talked about those things. You know, what is God? And in Unity, God is everywhere present, is good, is benevolent, and only good and benevolent, and is the source and creator of all that is. And that this power, this presence, this love intelligence created each and every one of us in its own image and likeness. And so that makes each one of us a light, an extension, a love of God itself. And so one thing that makes Unity unique is that we have direct access to that power, that presence, and that we always turn within. Every time I say pause and take a breath, we are acknowledging that it is individualized as each and every one of us. And yes, we do follow the teachings of Jesus, who in his pathway became the Christ. As the human gave way to the divine, and the divine began to lead in that relationship with God, where God was the focus and attention, that's the pathway that we follow as demonstrated by Jesus the Christ. And so that is what we're up to. We honor all pathways to God, and we are an inclusive and welcoming community. All are welcome here. And so thank you for joining us here today. What we do is we anchor ourselves in a mighty and powerful vision and mission. And this is like a touchstone. So we all touchstone this vision and mission together because we talked about synergy a couple weeks ago. When we're all moving in the same direction, there's power in that. So I'm going to invite us to speak our vision and our mission together. And I'm going to invite you to really feel it and speak it as if you've never spoken it before, as if it's brand new to you. So we'll take a breath. Our vision: a spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. And last week we did an Om here. And our mission: we transform lives that transform the world. We're recognizing the vibration of the words that we speak and that join us together in this common vision and this common mission. And so every Sunday, I love how we begin. We always begin with these things, and we also begin with prayer. And there are 2 prayer chaplains who are on duty today. And what that means is that they've facilitated a meditation already and that they are available for one-on-one prayer. It's how we transform our own lives is through the power of prayer. And so they're available after the service for one-on-one prayer. And then I invite all the prayer chaplains to please stand as we anchor prayer right now. And here everyone prays, and so we all pause and we turn within. We may allow the body eyes to close, simply symbolizing a turning from the world of appearances and a turning within to spirit. That this is the power, the presence, the cause. And we return with every breath with our focused attention to this idea and concept that God is, love is, peace is, joy is. It's not somewhere in the future, but it's here and now, and it operates fully, wholly now. And that as we bring our attention and awareness to it, we actually unify with it. As God is, I am. As God is peace, love, and joy, I am peace. I am love. I am joy. And in this holy instant, we experience a oneness, joined in heart and mind, in consciousness. We speak the word of a blessing. I say thank you, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, that from this oneness, something wonderful and magnificent happens. There is a synergy. There is a power. There is a remembering that each of us is a holy, pure, beloved child of God. We remember that what we place our attention on becomes our experience, so we solely give our attention to spirit. We acknowledge each of us as spirit, holy and divine, unlimited and free. And in that freedom, we rise in Christ consciousness above the world of appearances and illusions, and bless and see the truth that sets us all free, that we are one with God and God is one with us. And so we blanket and extend peace upon all in abundance and prosperity and joy. As we anchor it within our own lives, it extends as a gift and offering to all for the glory of God. This time together is blessed. We are a blessing. I claim that we are touched, moved, and inspired in some way to know this truth in a palpable way. And as I release this word, my goodness gracious, it returns fulfilled. So this becomes a celebration. And I say, thank you, Mother, Father, God, again. And so it is. Say, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Aho. Take a breath. And listen to these beautiful words spoken by our Reverend Aunt Michael.
Our daily word for today is awaken. And I'm going to invite you to join me in the affirmation. Together, I awaken to my divine nature and live the life of my dreams. And now the reading. When I dream at night, my dreams may be fanciful or serious, light or dark. But when I awaken, I can have a different kind of dream, one I am able to consciously direct. Just as I awaken from sleep, becoming aware of the world around me, I also awaken spiritually. becoming aware of the world within me. I am made in the image and likeness of God, and as a divine being, have great creative power to choose my thoughts and guide my life. I need not settle for a life of fantasy or daydreaming, wishing I could have the life of my highest imaginings. As I awaken to my divinity, my life truly begins to take shape, and my dreams become reality. This reading was inspired by the gospel, not the gospel, but the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. Besides this, you know what time it is, how it is now, the moment for you to wake from sleep. And so please stand as we sing together the Lord's Psalm.
Holy Creator, we praise your name. Your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's old. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom, power, and praise, with you began and with you stays. Amen. Amen. No wait, no doubt, the shift's begun. I speak, it is done. From my lips to the sun, it's already won. Every word's a seed I planted deep, roots in the unseen, power that I keep. No begging, no maybe, no hope someday. I declare my world in the here, not away. I don't wish, I decree. The vision's already free. When my voice licks the air, the universe pulls up a chair. I speak, it is done. No wait, no doubt, the ship's begun. I speak. ship's begun. I speak, it is done. From my lips to the sun, it's already won. Hear the echo in the ether, every sound a silent teacher, my bright slow and fire. Every word lifts me higher. No try, no maybe, no delay. Every syllable guns the way. The universe ends when I say, and I say, hold sway. From the thought to the tongue, from the tongue to the field, from the field to the form, it's already sealed. I am the pen, the page, the crown, speaking kingdoms into now. Every letter is a throne, every word a cornerstone. I speak, it is done. No way, no doubt, the ship's begun.
Whoa, take a breath here. Powerful, powerful. Well done, well executed. Powerful. Yes. Whoa. That's what I'm talking about, my friends. That is what we do here. We consciously choose and speak the word, and behold, it is done. No doubt, no feebleness in it. There's a powerfulness in the spoken word that is spoken from a place of connection. You don't need to do it alone. You don't do it disconnected. We do it once we pause and we join with the heart and mind of God and become willing and committed to think the thoughts of God, to begin to shift, and we've talked about this before, from that old BS system, that old belief system, and we're evolving our consciousness here right now to become beholders of spirit. It's a new BS system. Beholders of spirit. I thought that up this week. Beholders of spirit. You're the boss. BOS. Beholders of spirit. Beholders of the light. This is our evolution in our teaching and our consciousness. We don't need to work the word. We need to allow the word. We need to behold the light that is within each of us. Guess what? It's already there. And the system that would say that it's not, and that would be hoodwinking us into believing in limitation and lack, we say no more. We speak a different word. And it's up to each and every one of us. We're in this, we're still reimagining, my friends. We're still reimagining who we are, what we are, how we serve. We're still reimagining unity and unity renaissance. And we are engaging a thing called the 4 agreements during the next 5 weeks. I know there's 4 agreements, but there's a lot at the beginning and a lot at the end. And so I'm going to cover the prelude to the dream and the prelude to a new dream. And then Reverend Ann's going to pick up next week with the power of our word, to be impeccable with our word. But you know, any good system, And unfortunately, this is not on, but now it is. I'm so smart. I mean, I figured it out. I hope. Did I? No? All right, friends. Sandy, if we could just go to the first slide. This is perfect. By the time Lily gets back, I can unpack that. The goal belongs at the beginning. Does it not? This is actually from A Course in Miracles that talks about the goal of awakening from a dream. That goal belongs at the beginning. Now, we get this. We do get this because none of us, takes out our phone and gets to our maps without putting the goal of where our destination is. And so our destination is, okay, I'm done unpacking that. The next slide. The goal of our destination, we speak it every Sunday. It's a spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. Now, I keep bringing up our vision, and I keep bringing it up for a reason, because I think it must be alive in us. And it's not unusual for a new minister to come to a community and to begin the process of calling forth a new vision. But what I firmly believe in is if you got a good vision, stick with it. This is a great vision, and it's part of what attracted me here. But the other piece of it is that we will naturally attract a new vision that will pull us forward when we really get that this is complete, when we really embody it within our lives. And what I want us to do as a community is to begin to acknowledge ourselves for our present spiritual awakening. That it's not something that's in the future, it's happening now. We are it now. And how do we recognize it? We recognize it, my friends, every time we choose peace. I know you choose peace throughout your day. Every time you choose peace, every time you choose to be harmonious, every time you let go of a need to be right is a moment when you choose peace. Acknowledge yourself for that. Write it in your journal. Give yourself an atta-girl and an atta-boy at the beginning or the end of the day. Like, begin to cultivate the recognition that you are already living a spiritually awakened life. And then the next time that you choose love instead of something unlike love, I invite you to acknowledge yourself. I invite you, because you can do that here. You can lean over and say, hey, you know what? I chose to be kind and loving. Right out there in that narthex. Right? You don't have to look far for the moments that you're demonstrating that you are spiritually awake. Or the joyfulness that we feel, like when we're with one another, or when we see a child's face, or when we behold with awe the beauty of the world. Begin to take note of all of those moments where you're already doing this. And guess what? What we focus on increases. And soon, the way that maybe you might have reacted becomes something from the distance, becomes an aspect of yourself that you barely recognize anymore. And when she pops up or he pops up, you love them. You love that aspect of yourself, because we're ever only practicing this with how we also regard ourselves. So the goal belongs at the beginning. We do this also with how we transform lives by transforming the world. But you know what? Our transformation begins with us. So every time you realize, oh my goodness gracious, as the song said, a shift's already occurred. I keep speaking the word, and guess what? Shifts are occurring. We have a group of people that are about, by next Sunday, those who practice every day, have done a 40-day prosperity program. And I got to tell you, there are shifts happening in their lives because every day they're taking a I'm doing it too, we're taking a spiritual principle that God is my lavish source and supply and that it's individualized as me. Guess what? It's the reality of me. That God is my only source, substance, and supply, so I don't need to look anywhere else. These are all ways that then we begin to send out those ripples, and guess what? They come back to us, and we're made new, we're transformed. We believe what we're speaking here because we're proving it in our lives. The goal belongs at the beginning. And that's what we do whenever we come here together. So then, oh, look, it works. So then the invitation is that as we do this, we add something to our practice. This is another way of looking at the same spiritual principles and truth. You guys are familiar with this book. Most of you are, aren't you? And I got to tell you, every time I read it, it reveals itself in a new way to me, in a magnificent way. And so all I'm covering is really before the very first agreement. I'm just going to cover a couple pages in the beginning here. But what it's about is the Toltec teaching is an ancient wisdom that has its cornerstone in esoteric spiritual principles and truth. And as I read it, I realize just like unity teaching and principles. So there are many pathways, and this becomes a pathway also, but it's consistent with our pathway. And it gives us another way to look at it and another way to practice the same principles of truth. And so this Toltec teaching, like many wisdom teachings, because of the politics of the day, ends up going underground. Not unlike what happened in this area with the feminine intelligence and wisdom and connectedness with Mother Earth and that divine intuition. They ended up calling these people witches and ended up drowning them and burning them. And so that wisdom goes under the surface. But it's still alive. You cannot snuff it out. And that's the same thing that happened with the Toltec teaching, which was in Mexico. And so the author of our book, Don Miguel Ruiz, comes from a certain lineage of masters of this teaching. And he shares it with us in such a very clear and concise way. And so why did I begin with the goal belongs in the beginning? Why did I begin with our spiritual vision of spiritually awakening? Because the whole premise of this part that leads to the way to the new agreements is that we are asleep. And does not our visioning that says we are spiritually awakened, does it not imply we were once asleep? And so from that perspective, we are all in these teachings that are awakening us from a dream of sleeping. And even our reading that Anne read talked about, but when we wake up, we can choose again. But what Don Miguel Ruiz is saying is that, no, we're always dreaming. We're dreaming asleep, and we dream awake. A Course in Miracles does the same thing. It says we're always dreaming. The mind is always contriving stories and making up things and attaching to beliefs. And so in this experience, what we do is we can continue the dream of being asleep, or we can dream the dream of being awake. Dream the dream of a happy dreamer, a person who anchors that love, that peace, that joy. And so this Toltec teaching, very similar to our teaching, it says, while it does embrace spirit, it is most accurately described as a way of life. And it's distinguished by the ready accessibility of happiness and love. Like, what that means is we don't need to go find happiness and love. It's all already here. It's all already here. I remember, a couple months ago, Reverend Ann was sharing something that Reverend Elizabeth, one of our previous ministers, said, and it had to do with faith. And Elizabeth said to her, "You will never have more faith than you have right now. You will never have more love or more happiness than you have right now. Are you aware of it? Are you focused on it? Are you partaking of it? Are you speaking the words that affirm it?" And so in unity, we deny the dream of illusion, of lack, of limitation, and we affirm something new. We affirm thoughts of God. We affirm God as our source and supply. And in this teaching, what he's saying is that every time we attach to a belief system, it's an agreement we make. And so what must we do? We must choose our new agreements. And that's what the 4 agreements is about. In letting go of the dream, we begin to release old agreements of beliefs, and we take on new ones. And the 4 agreements in particular are ways of behavior that keep us aligned in a new way. That as we practice, as it becomes a pathway of practice, we begin a new dream. A dream of that happiness, of that love that is ever accessible, ever available to us. Take a breath with me here. The book actually starts out with a story of a young student in this way of this teaching. And he tells a story where he knows he's asleep. He's having a lucid dream. And he can tell that he's dreaming. He can actually have that distance. He can see his body. He can see himself acting out the dream, but he's awake and aware. And what comes to him as this is happening is he has this realization that he is like a star of light, a star in the sky. And as he looks at the star, he contemplates and realizes that the star is not the source of light, but there's something back of the star that is illuminating the star, that is the source of light. And that he realizes that what appears to be darkness in between the stars that are illuminated is this allness that's creating everything. And he goes on to describe, though, the dream that we are in. When we're not in the lucid dream having these realizations, we begin to perceive each other, and that there becomes a cloudedness, a fogginess, a smokiness. And we can't see ourselves clearly, nor can we see one another clearly. And it reminds me of so he says, everything in existence is a manifestation of the one living being, God. Does that sound like unity? I think it totally sounds like unity. And that the human perception is merely light perceiving light. And that matter is a mirror. So everything that is in form is really a projection of our own thoughts, of our own thinking. And he goes on to say that the world of illusions, the dream, is just like smoke, which doesn't allow us to see what we really are. And that the real us is pure love, pure light. Now, that sounds really similar to something that we see in Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 13:12. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. This was always one of my favorite scriptures, that as I became aware that I was dreaming a dream, and that I would hear ministers like myself say this, it is as if we are looking through a glass darkly, a smoky mirror, and we can't see. But may I call forth that moment when I go into, I pause, I take that breath, and I go into that consciousness that I may see face to face. May I see you face to face, each and every one of us, looking at one another and becoming beholders of the light that we are. Then we see face to face. Take a breath with me there. When I was a little girl, and I started to tell a story about my backyard last week. So it's the same backyard. It's a yard on a hill, the only hill in Toledo, Ohio. And so therefore, in the wintertime, it was the only hill that we could go sledding on. And it was so cool because my house was on the edge of this hill, and we could look out the window, and all the kids would be sledding down that hill. And you know how it is in the wintertime at night. The sky is so clear, crisp and clear, and you can see the stars. And there was a memory that I have imprinted within my soul of my dad and I sometime around Christmas time, laying on the side of that hill, looking up. He was probably exhausted, because I had him going up and down the hill, sledding. And we're laying down and we're looking up and we sing Silent Night together. And it just brought me so much joy and happiness. And when I share it with you, it's like I'm right there. But there were other times when he wasn't there. And I remember looking up and wondering and pondering about the stars. You see, I was the youngest of 4 girls. And by the time I came along, Mom and Dad were a little tired. They didn't take as many pictures. And I remember around that time thinking, I think I'm adopted. And they didn't tell me. And I remember kind of being upset about it, like, where are all the pictures of me? And I can see all my sisters, tons of pictures, and their little books are completed, first this, first that, but not mine. I'm like, what's up with that? And so even though I'm the spitting image of my dad, I look exactly like my dad, I still thought, well, I don't know what happened, but I don't think I belong in this family. Anybody ever feel that way about your family? And I remember looking up at the stars and having the same thought that is in the early story, and I made a decision that that's my family. That's what I'm of. I'm of that light. I am celestial. Later I added all these words, but I remember identifying with the star in the sky, thinking that was where I came from. And little did I know that there was some truth to that. And so here we are, and we're talking about spiritual awakening all the time, and what does that mean? But then the question becomes, well, how did we fall asleep? How did we fall asleep? What happened there? And then this is where this book has always made such an impression. It was the first place I ever heard about the domestication of a human being. A domestication of a human being. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Who wants to be domesticated? I want to be wild and free. Don't you? Yeah, doesn't it feel like that's what we're meant to be? So as I was preparing for this message, I thought, well, what does it really mean to domesticate a thing? You know, it isn't pretty. It's a process to domesticate an animal. It actually takes generations of taking it out of its natural environment and social structure. You know, there's social structure in animal families. And you remove them. There's violence in this. I don't mean to be a bummer, but it's true. If we're going to use the word domestication of humans, let's look at how we domesticate animals, or how we break a wild horse. You bridle them. You ride them. You have the reins real tight. You know, we break the beaks off of chickens. We take the young of cows. It's a violent process that interrupts the natural behavior of that species. And it does it in a violent, harmful way. Now, this is where I pause and take a breath here. We just finished Unity introduction, and Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were dedicated to harmlessness, which is why they were vegetarian. Now, this is not a pitch on vegetarianism for you, but I'm making a point here that it's important for us to open our eyes to anywhere where we're practicing a harmfulness in life. And so the Fillmores and Charles is attributed with this statement: as long as we kill animals, there will be no peace on earth. And Unity, if we're going to say we're Unity, was a vegetarian. That was one of the belief systems that we had. And that went away with the organizational structures, and it probably wasn't popular, you know, for people. But the domestication of animals, and what Don Miguel Ruiz is saying, is the domestication of humans. And it takes generation after generation. And it squashes our natural freedom and our instincts. Now, I'm not sharing this with us in a way so that we judge one another, but it's just to open our eyes. Because I know my mom and dad conditioned me in certain ways. I know they did. And it was part of probably the domestication they had. And they told me that in order to be safe in this world, I had to proceed in a certain way. So these are good human beings, right, who just want their kids to be safe. And so you have to behave, you have to act a certain way, you have to almost squash that spark of the divine that you are in order to get by in this world. I remember wanting to study liberal arts. And I remember my dad saying, but can you make money doing that? You know? And so he corralled me, kind of squashed that desire out of the goodness of his heart, because he wanted his little girl to be okay in the world that might not recognize her free way of being in a way where she could survive in the world. And so I went to business school. I went to business school, and it comes in handy. However, little did I know, this is what I wanted to do, right? And it took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time to get here. I think that the energy it takes to squash and control so strenuous. We're seeing through a glass darkly, and my beloveds, it's painful. And it's why we have projected a world that we see right now. And any of you watching any of the news, just for a minute, it's not a pretty sight always. There is a new way of being. There is an old way of being that got squashed and covered up and had to go under the current. And today, I can do what I do. I am fearful right now that that may not be true in a year or two. I do feel that something is going on in our culture and our world that's trying to exert a different dream that I don't want to partake of. And so part of being spiritually awake is to have the courage. This takes courage to shift. It takes courage to make new agreements. It takes courage to let go of old agreements, of limitation, of lack of fear. But there is no safety in that. There is no safety in it. So take a breath with me. This is from Don Miguel Ruiz again. He went around in his little awakening, the story of the student, and he realized, but if God is everything, I am God too. And that you are all God. Now I remember when I first came here, we did this little introduction where we introduced ourselves. Hello. We all got up. Hello. I'm René, and you told me your name. And then we said, René Christ. And then we said, Christ. Hello, I'm Christ. And then we said, hello, I'm God. Ah, blasphemy. Right? But this is what has been told. Do you not know ye are gods in the making? And that's what we are. We're a chip off the old block. So we are the same, you and I. We are images of light. We are God. And that's what these agreements help us to remember. This is what unity teaching helps us to remember. And I think we've done enough for today. And so take a breath with me here. As we turn within, sometimes we have to shake things up and open our eyes so that we can see the dream. We touched the dream today. And in some ways, that illusion did not feel very good. It's okay. Because we have the capacity to dream another dream, my loves. And that's what we do here. And so with each breath, I just invite us to say the words to ourselves. This is an old Buddhist meditation. We just say, relax. Take a breath. With each breath, just say, relax. 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 And with the next breath, begin to say, aware. 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 Relax. Aware. Relax. Awake. There's a call. It calls us to awake, to awakening. This is where our safety lies. I relax. I'm aware. I'm awake. And as the Buddha would say, I am the dreamer of the dream. Herein lies my safety, my restoration. Herein lies the pathway of light. We pause in the stillness for a moment. Each new agreement leads to remembering light. Do you not know you are the light of the world? God's in the making, alive, awake, aware.
Oh, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
And so take a breath with me. Say, I am alive. I am awake. I am aware. Ah, that feels so good. Feels so good. And so in this aliveness, in this awakeness, in this awareness, a new covenant, a new dream is established. It is one of light, of love, of peace, of joy. It is a vision that is now. And the transformation is happening. We celebrate it. We celebrate it. And so I say, thank you, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, that this is so. And that in this divine flow, I prepare my offering, I prepare my gift, I prepare to be a channel for Spirit to move through me. As we prepare this gift, know that, yes, we give by, blessing and putting our cash in the basket or our check, or we can use this QR code. We can text give to 540-418-1228. And yet, most importantly, we give from love, and blessing our ushers as they go by and pass the baskets. Thank you so much. the givers. And together we rub our hands and extend it in the direction of the offering that we've touched this day. And we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Thank you. Come on up, Brittany. All right.
I'm tired of the guilt that brings me pain. Now is the time for me to let go of the shame, the past behind me. I see anew. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive them. I forgive them. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. Oh, I'm ready for my change. Oh, I'm ready for my change. Oh, I'm ready for my change.
Well, once more, I say welcome, 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 everyone. And if you are here for the first time, or maybe you're here for the 100th time, just know that our hearts are open to receive you today, and each and every time you are with us. And so now I go back. If you're with us for the first time and you would raise your hand, we have a packet for you, and inside that packet is an opportunity. Yay! Inside that packet is a card, and if you would take the time to fill out that card, bring it over to our bookstore. We'll be glad to welcome you more officially and formally, and at the bookstore you'll be given another gift. Again, glad to have you with us today. Glad to have all of you with us today. At this moment, I would like to invite Deborah Amy to come up to share a prosperity moment.
Amy, as Ann said, and I've been a member here for 27 years, and I just wanted to share a few thoughts about what my thinking is about prosperity. When I think about abundance and prosperity in relationship to unity, I don't first think about money or possessions. I think about spirit flowing through every part of my life. Abundance is the love, peace, and joy that is ours inherently in limitless supply. Prosperity is living in alignment with that truth, trusting that there is always enough, and we are enough. Here at Unity Renaissance, I see abundance everywhere, in the welcome at the door, in the music that lifts our hearts, and in the friendships that bless our journeys. And financial giving is part of that flow. When I give to Unity Renaissance, I am saying yes to the abundance of spirit. I am circulating good, not only for myself, but our whole community. Together, our gifts keep the lights on, the doors open, and yes, they also help to expand our ministries to share spiritual tools, especially for children, teens, adults, and to make a difference in the world. When we give freely and joyfully, we are stepping into prosperity consciousness, and that blessing returns to us, often in ways we couldn't imagine. For me, true abundance is not what I hold on to, but what flows through me. And when I give here at Unity Renaissance, I feel part of that endless flow of God's good. Would you be willing to repeat this affirmation with me after I say it, if indeed it resonates with you? As I give freely, I receive abundantly. Unity Renaissance is blessed, and so am I. As I give freely, I receive abundantly. Unity Renaissance is blessed, and so am I. Thank you.
At this time, we'd like to bring in the children, so if you're able to stand, let's sing them in as we always do.
Walking in the light of God. We are 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 walking. We are walking. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. We are walking in the light of God.
All right, good morning, Unity Renaissance. It's great to be here today. I want to say thank you to the parents who made it out to the Parents' Night Out last night. I know the rain held a few people back, so we will try to do this again. It was a great time, and the kids got to enjoy themselves and watch a movie over here while we hung out across the street. I also wanted to let parents of Uniteens, that's our middle school group, know if you are planning to do if your middle schooler is planning to do the retreat, today is the last day for the early bird registration. So please come find Miss Valerie. She'll be taking payments for that after the service. And do we have a Unitots? Okay, so our Unitots would like to share their affirmation today.
I am one with God.
Beautiful. Okay, and then we also have a Uniteen share.
Thank you, Malin, for sharing. Today, the Uniteens talked about bullying and what's joking around and stuff. Because you can do something once and someone might think, oh, it's funny, but you talk about it more than once. Like, if you're talking with your friends and then you're like, oh, what's 1 + 4 or whatever, because you're not thinking. And they're like, oh, you're stupid, and you laugh around. But when they say you're dumb every time, then it ends up being bullying. Like, if it's one time, it can be a little joke between you. But if it hurts you, it can be teasing or bullying. and you can be bullied by adults or friends or people you don't even know. And we learned about the impact it has on people and the impact and how and sometimes why. Because a lot of times when they bully you, it's because they're insecure about themselves, so they want to put other people down.
And thank you. Thank you, Lucy, for sharing. All right, and now let's stand for the prayer of protection.
All right. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are,